Martell is facing charges of sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Martell is the stepfather of missing children Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP have confirmed they arrested 34-year-old Martell on Monday. Martell was living with Lily, Jack, and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Well, it finally happened. Canadian police just arrested Daniel Martell, the stepfather of two Nova Scotian preschoolers who have been missing since May 2025. But it's still too early to say case closed because the actual charges against Daniel do not relate directly to the disappearance. So in today's video, let's break down this bombshell update and how the Canadian police could use it to crack the case if they play their cards right. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For early access to new videos, over 60 exclusive videos, another cool person.
I keep hearing that, it don't have anything to do with Jack and Lily. But you're going to get Christina wound up here now.
Oh, what?
She just got done making a homemade strawberry cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Don't it?
Stop talking dirty already.
If we all remember correctly, not long after Malia went to, well, no, it was before Malia went to her mama's. She had got her a feller, and he ended up getting him a girl. And it's a cat.
So weird for a second.
Yeah, he got him a girlfriend. I'm not sure if the girlfriend had children of her own. Hey, holler. And then again, we know what Jack and Lily has said. And they keep saying that the case is still open, but all in reality is that there's been such a controversy over these two. These two are going to be charged, not counting that other feller. And even, numbnuts, he tried to take his own self out. That didn't work. The grandma, everybody that knew in close proximity is going to get in trouble. They need to specify, and they may do it on down the road on this. I don't know. First time I'm hearing about, well, it ain't the first time I'm hearing about the sexual assault. But I'm just putting it in everybody's ear that it could have been his girlfriend's kids. Then again, we don't know if the girlfriend that he got was of age either. So that could go two different ways. If he thinks he got away with it with these kids, for some reason, Canada sucks when it comes to law enforcement. Hey, Judy. Because down here, like I said, you go to the jailhouse and admit what you did and what you played part in, and then you get to walk out. No, it don't work like that here. Everybody's saying, "Hey, Christine."
Hey.
this is twisted, but I think that whoever this is could be twisting words around just like they do when they come get information from me. They take it back and get some of it and just change a few things. So let's listen to what we can hear out of this.
Daniel Martell is facing charges of sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Martell is the stepfather of missing children Lily and Jack Sullivan.
So not only was the sexual act forceful, but it could be inside of his own home.
RCMP have confirmed they arrested 34-year-old Martell on Monday. Martell was living with Lily, Jack, and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Well, it finally happened. Canadian police just arrested Daniel Martell, the stepfather of two Nova Scotian preschoolers who have been missing since May 2025. But it's still too early to say case closed because the actual charges against Daniel do not relate directly to the disappearance. So in today's video, let's break down this bomb.
I've always said, don't listen to what they're saying, listen to how it's said. I'm going to play this little bitty spot right here again. And I'm going to point out what I mean.
Well, it finally happened. Canadian police just arrested Daniel Martell, the stepfather of two Nova Scotian preschoolers who have been missing since May 2025. But it's still too early to say case closed because the actual charges against Daniel do not relate directly to the disappearance.
Not directly to the missing children. There's knock on wood there. Not directly. So they're not saying it's not also with the children. That's how you catch people in a lie. Not just directly. On Jack and Lily. I pray to God that if that girl he was dating or whatever had kids, that she got the hell out of there. Daniel Martell, Malaya, Jordan, or whatever his name is, Numbnuts, the grandma, they need to be put in prison, period. Because they knew everything about it. And the dad, his own dad knowed about it. Probably encouraged it on. If you remember correctly, and me too, whenever they did the setup about an old horse trailer, it was to catch him talking about the kids. And he said, them kids, they don't nobody care about them kids no way. They'd be better off gone. Hey, Spina. So during that setup, I mean, he just kept rattling on and off. He's like, he can't stand the kids. He can't, he don't like doing nothing for them. They're not his kids. And then all of a sudden, here comes the new baby, Meadow, and everything's cool with that baby. But they can't, nobody that has sat right here, hey, Carol, on JSV show right here, and tell me that you didn't hear what Jack and Lily both said happened to them. And quote, again, not saying it's directly pointing toward the missing children. that's leaving the gray area. I mean, yeah, I was born, like I said, now it wasn't yesterday. A lot of people might want to think so, but I wouldn't.
When the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Well, it finally happened. Canadian police just arrested Daniel Martel, the stepfather of two Nova Scotian preschoolers who have been missing since May 2025. But it's still too early to say case closed because the actual charges against Daniel do not relate directly to the disappearance. So in today's video, let's break down this bombshell update and how the Canadian police could use it to crack the case if they play their cards right. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So
What was his name? Jordan. Hey, Angela. Yeah, it's coming. It's kicking him in the ass. What was that feller's name? Wasn't it Jordan or something? I forget now. Anyway, or Logan. Yeah, Logan. Yeah. So he went to the police station and reported what she had them do. They took her into custody. And they said that she sat there like a bump on log, that she didn't hide nothing. She just, hey, Lynn, she's just like spaced out. She doesn't know she was in trouble. And she told what she had Daniel and Logan to do was to hide the body. Plain and simple. That don't work. There's something about laws either in the county, city, or the whole state of Canada. I don't know. I don't know the governor there. I don't know what's going on. The mayor, I don't understand. But there's no way on the face of this earth that they should have been out. Numbnuts is going to have to go in. And he ended up trying to off himself. Of course, that didn't work. He just stayed a while in the hospital. It's screwed up. And like I said, I hate to say this, but Canada's law sucks. Hey, Alicia. I mean, it's just pathetic. You try that down here, you won't get out, period, because they'll set your bond so high you can't get out. Then on top of that, when you do go to court, it's going to be in front of a grand jury. And with an open confession, bad as I hate to say this, but Logan coming to the police station, telling what happened and what his involvement was with hiding the body exactly where the hiker said it was. He's liable to be. I'm just saying, he's liable to be the only one that gets probably some of the lower punishment because he come and reported it himself. Then again, they may just be asses about it, and which they should, and just lock his butt up and give him the same charges. Around here, if you tamper with a murder scene, if you tamper with a dead body or a corpse, that is 30 to life in prison. Period. Point blank. I've done looked it up. I do not know the Canadian laws. Like I said, if people got tired of this kind of crap happening up in Canada, they would do like what Tennessee and all the way down in South Georgia, and all the way down to the line, start putting up petitions for anybody that's had any run in with children. Uh, yeah, you be careful, and take it serious, and let the authorities go around and let people actually know. That's like right here. If they was a sex offender around, the police would pull up out there, knock on your door, and they would personally hand you a pamphlet letting you know that, okay, there's a perv down the road. Good and doggone well of what they did to these children have been broadcasted all around the world. I think and this is my honest opinion, I said it before, and I'm saying it again. I honest to God believe that the only reason they've been holding off on Jack and Lily's situation, which is sad and pathetic and sickening, but I believe that they think that he may be tied into some of them other murders. And he just said, and he slipped it out of his mouth, he said they could use this time against him if they would play their cards right. Well, yeah, death or tell the truth and have life or whatever. But I believe they're waiting on bigger and better things. And I hate to say it that way. These two kids, that's bad enough. Exactly. And every one of them have been being teens. I hear one or two was somebody that was coming, getting some stuff and whatnot. And I'm not 100% certain, but I think that some what was that? He can just touch it near the key. Well, my mind went really. Around here, they hand deliver it. Around here, a pamphlet telling you about a sex offender on your road or block or anything. Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
Almost had it there. Fentanyl. Now, how so it is that some stuff was laced with it, I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff laced with that stuff.
Yeah. This thing's going to be bigger than just these two children. And I believe that's what they're waiting on. And by law, when state picks something up, we know they doesn't have, they got the right to not allow the parents or any of the family members. And if they have extended family members, they can. But I found out that they have to sign a waiver. And then that way, if anything is said, and they find out that the parents have gone to that location where the children were buried, you will be held responsible. And I think that's the way it should be. So they're getting themselves deeper and deeper and deeper in a hole here. They ain't got no daggone sense, which we knew that in the beginning. Logan admitted. Malaya admitted. I mean, they said she sat down there just, and just said it, and just sit there with her hands on her lap like she was ready to go to jail. Telling what went on. Uh-uh.
That's your thing. Hit subscribe for early access to new videos, over 60
We
exclusive.
don't. You talk to us.
If you're watching this video, I assume you're Nova Scotia, Canada. Rather than recapping the case, let's just get straight into this update and we'll break it down as we
let's
go.
do
Daniel Martel is facing charges of sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Martel is the stepfather of missing children Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP have confirmed they arrested 34-year-old Martel on Monday. Police say the victim is an adult, but are not providing any more details. Martel was living with Lily, Jack, and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Even though the alleged victim here is unnamed, there's a high chance that it's
4-year-old Martel on Monday. Police say the victim is an adult, but are not providing any more details. Martel was living with Lily, Jack, and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Even though the alleged victim here is unnamed, there's a high chance that it's actually Malaya Brooks Murray. Lily.
Okay. Now this is no surprise to me. Now I'm kind of getting the picture a little bit. All right. So she's probably thinking that since Logan went and said something, he did too. And throwing out now that all this junk happened to her, so it won't be so just on her situation and just his situation. But there's fixing to come a lie right here. If that happened, she would have said something before. They mail them out where you are. Well, yeah, they don't do that here.
Jack's mother. After all, just days before his arrest.
And Jack Sullivan. RCMP have confirmed they arrested 34-year-old Martel on Monday. Police say the victim is an adult, but are not providing any more details. Martel was living with Lily, Jack, and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May.
Even though the alleged victim here is unnamed, there's a high chance that it's actually Malaya Brooks Murray, Lily, Jack's mother. After all, just days before his arrest, unsealed court documents revealed that she actually accused him of physically abusing her, which wouldn't bode well for Daniel if that's the case, because spousal abuse is correlated with child abuse. And if the unnamed accuser isn't Malaya, that's arguably even worse, because that would mean that two women have made credible allegations against him in the past 12 months, which could explain why, when he was asked whether or not he ever abused Malaya, his denial was so specifically worded. Listen to this.
Have you ever tried to block Malaya, hold her down, or push her?
No, all those allegations are false. And as I said, it was just to paint me in a bad light. That's basically why there's all of those allegations of abuse came out. I never physically.
You didn't need help to show yourself in a bad light, buddy.
Abused Malaya.
Martel says he approved of these redactions being lifted, adding not much has changed when it comes to his public reputation.
As you can see, even if we took Daniel's denial at face value, it wouldn't mean he's never abused anyone else. And if you're someone like me who believes that Daniel is deceptive and manipulative, you shouldn't take his denial at face value anyway. I've put the assessing denials card from my deception deck, my 52 favorite rules for spotting lies and manipulation, on your screen now if you want to read the full rule. But basically, there's 3 elements to a reliable denial, and Daniel didn't meet any of them. The closest he came to refuting the allegations against him was saying that he's never physically abused Malaya, which is problematic for the same reason that Bill Clinton's denial that he never had sexual relations with Monica
and their mother when the children went missing from his family home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia last May. The woods surrounding the home was searched for days, and RCMP Major Crimes has been conducting an extensive investigation. But little is known about what happened to the children, and so far, the case has not turned criminal. Earlier this month, RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon said none of the children's family members are
a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions on that. But we are not in a position to really comment suspects or anything like that at this time.
There you have it. They're not putting out there no more than what needs to be. They know there's more to this than just what occurred that night and the following night as well. They know it. I mean, they trying to get into the whole line of family. They use the word family twice already, and then he's talking about kind of like, I'm not at liberty to say bless you on any family members, because that person said there were no family members that are accused of being part of it. Well, we know that's a daggum lie, because the dad definitely was. The grandma is definitely involved. So that would tell anybody, okay, they know what's going on. They're just waiting for the right moment to let something slip up, and they get the rest of the story.
Men of the island of the mighty, you have only known peace when
Get
it's
off
given
my
to you.
Really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
The mysterious nature of their disappearance has garnered international media attention. Martel has spoken publicly about what happened that day and the months that have followed. Martel is due in Pictou Provincial Court on March 2nd. Allie Thompson, CBC News.
As you heard the reporter say there, and this is critical, the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan is not considered a criminal case. It's a missing persons case. However, the case against Daniel Martel for physical abuse is criminal, which according to the Canadian Criminal Code allows for their hard powers like production orders, which I think is the Canadian version of a subpoena, which means that the police no longer need Daniel's consent to search his phone or his house or anything else as long as it's related to this physical abuse case. And hopefully the upshot of that, even if the police can't say it explicitly, is that they'll discover.
As long as it does or don't have a following up to the children. So they're setting them up. They're setting them up like bowling ball pins. That's what they're doing. Or better yet, like domino reflects, how it all falls in order. That I thought we couldn't really get much worse than all this, but apparently we are. The only thing good out of this whole deal is that they're trying to give time and a confession and it to be seen on camera of what, when, and where everything took place. And they said they were not going to take it off that he could have did this to Malaya, which lets me know that Malaya told the authorities that he was abusive to her and to the children. I was born, like I said, but it wasn't yesterday. No, he will not see Meadow, period. No. All that's over with. And again, I do not know why the Canadian authorities are doing this way, which I know it's out of their hands as far as being able to tell anything, because they don't want Malaya or any of her bunch or Daniel's bunch to know what they already have. They're playing cat and mouse here. good cop, bad cop kind of deal. But he's so stupid, you see, that he can't catch on to it. That they're just waiting for him to, just plant face first in a mud puddle somewhere. None of this is good. None of it.
Something incriminating about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan in Daniel's phone or in the house or any of the other places that he's not yet given them consent to search. And I actually have good reason to believe that he's not been as cooperative as he wants us all to believe. Based on something else he said in that interview I played a clip of earlier, listen to what he says here and then I'll break it down.
All of those allegations of abuse came out. I never have physically abused Malaya.
Martell says he approved of these redactions being lifted, adding not much has changed when it comes to his public reputation.
I've been, trying to keep the public up to date as much as possible. My image hasn't changed at all. It was always Daniel's evil, Daniel's a monster. And with that painted narrative, the public automatically will just jump to the belief of guilt.
He says he provided his DNA.
See, there's where he puts his foot in his own mouth. We didn't listen to a damn thing that the public had to say. The only thing we went off of, now we listened to some of them clips. Yes, we did. What information we got was from them children. So him saying that people just turned against him because he don't know why, well, he's full of crap. These kids told on all of them. They just like turning a deaf ear to it in our line of business. But he's too worried about his image than anything. And that is the least of his worries. When he goes down, it's going to be bad. And they didn't say that he paid a bond either. So that's still hanging in the air right now, unless they say it in a minute.
To run forensics on Lily's blanket, which was found in the woods by family members on May 2nd.
They didn't need a warrant to have my DNA, so I was willing to do it. I watched them sign on the consent form, no criminal involvement in the case of Lily and Jack. So it was nice to see that, that box checked for no criminal involvement. I signed my name.
So one thing that the corner piece of her blanket didn't have his DNA on it. Okay. So he thinks in his mind that he has outsmarted authorities. He really has. He honestly to God believes it. And he just said it out of his own mouth. I am so glad that, it had none of my DNA on it. All the accusations, just wasn't true. Well, there's a little more to it than just a corner of a blanket, buddy. Ours is going down to 16 tonight. Our high today was 22. Yeah, he planned all that stuff there. Yeah, he did. And threw away her stuff and started burning their toys and you name it. And, just ignorant junk. But on top of this, he's so arrogant that he believes his own lies. Just because one thing didn't show up with his DNA, just a corner piece of her little blanket didn't have his DNA on it. Anybody could have held the other end of the blanket or used a clothespin or anything and still use scissors or a knife and cut the corner off. I mean, come on. But he thinks he beat the system because there were no DNA on the blanket. Well, what about the panties? What about everything else? You see what I'm saying? Now they kind of heard something that was a little bit different from what he's been hearing. It was the DNA, not on the corner of the blanket. And of course, he shot down that he didn't put that boot print out there. He didn't put her bloody panties out there and all that stuff. Well, yeah, you did. Because they have searched that area before. And when they did it on the third go around, when they got the warrant to search the trailers and phones and whatnot, they seen then in the same pattern they walked. That's where the piece of blanket showed up. That is where her bloody underwear was. Yes, he is straight up psychopath, a narcissist. I mean, just ignorant to believe your own lies. And that's selfish in itself. He has no heart, period, point blank. Even his dad. And again, on the setup about the horse trailer, that was a setup deal to get information from somebody else in the family, and which come find out was his dad. He couldn't stand the kids, period. There's always an arguing and a carrying on. He said the best thing that could ever happen happened. It's just that, they go away. Well, that's exactly what happened. But not the way a lot of people think. This was terrible. And we heard exactly, and we didn't hear from the public. We heard from Jack and Lily telling exactly what happened.
Name on the consent sheet.
The disappearance of the Sullivan siblings is still being treated as a missing persons investigation, despite the involvement of major crimes.
But when they do have a suspect and they dive into investigating that suspect or group of individuals, then it will pivot to a criminal investigation at that point.
Based on what Daniel said here, it sounds like he only cooperates when A, he has no other choice, like the blood sample, or B, the police make specific reassurances to him that he's not a criminal suspect and this is not a criminal case. So hopefully, now that they no longer need to play nice with him, they're going to discover some incriminating evidence.
What did I just say? Good cop, bad cop. They're going to have him so twisted up that he ain't going to know what he's answering to. And that's the best thing they can do. Even through a psychopath, if you confuse them one time, their world flips. And a narcissist at the same time. Schizophrenia. You can cause them to flip the script just like that. And they start worrying, they start getting the jitters, they forget what they've done said, and they've done that all the way through. We know that all this happened and took place a week prior to when they called authorities. We know the punishments they got. There's just a lot of this stuff that's adding up that, like he said, pretty much is letting his head swell, thinking that he's outsmarted the authorities. I figured that's what they're waiting on.
Either in his phone or in his property or anything else that he's not allowed them to look into yet. And by the way, him not wanting the disappearance to be treated as a criminal case, especially in light of Malaya's accusations against him, really doesn't make sense if he's innocent. If he's actually innocent and willing to do anything to find Lily and Jack, as he claims, he should be begging the police to treat this as...
Well, wait a minute. Man, he was like Flash, like Superman. That is what he said. He said he outbeat the drones, he outbeat the uh, helicopters, and all this stuff out there, running waist deep, in the creek and swamp, you know. But then there's footage from the uh, sheriff body cam that he was not wet nowhere. He wasn't out of breath. He was not wet nowhere on his body. Yeah, they plainly said it. But yeah, he thinks he wanted to make himself look good. Like he got out there before everybody else did. But if he got out there and looked in a certain direction, and he's so smart, how would he have known what direction they went if he had no knowledge about it? So I'm saying sometimes you start with the simplest things first. Just so happened, going the direction he said that he went in, ended up finding bloody panties, ended up finding a piece of her blanket, and then finally the rest of it. Backpack and stuff was in the garbage. Started burning their clothes and toys. Everything that he has said has been a lie. Except when he admitted, and I don't know why, there was a bond on it, but only when he didn't have no other choice, just like this guy's saying now. The only time he'll answer it correctly is when he has no choice. Malaya done told what she had them boys do, and Logan, he admitted to it because he just couldn't hold it anymore. And there was Daniel. He couldn't hide out of it. So that's what's got me so confused about authorities up in Canada. But now that I see that they're trying to play the game on him, they'll get a lot more out than just on Lily and Jack. Because there's still at least 3 more teams that is up there that is missing. And one not too long ago passed from that whatever that stuff is. I said it a while ago. Anyway, fentanyl. So that could have been a big factor in a lot of these that have been found, and kind of close proximity to their home here.
Back as he claims he should be begging the police to treat this as a criminal case so that they can compel evidence from Malaya. If she's willing to lie to the police about Daniel, surely she's willing to lie to Daniel about doing something to the kids. How can he believe any of her story from the day the kids supposedly went missing when he was supposedly drifting in and out of sleep when they disappeared? On that note, I often get comments on my videos about this case of people saying, hey, Dee, why do you only analyze Daniel? Why don't you analyze the mother, Malaya? After all, she picked up sticks the day after she reported her kids missing. And to that I say, I did analyze Malaya. She was the first video I did in this series, and based on that one interview she gave, I determined that she was definitely involved. Moreover, and this is also suspicious, she has not made any statements since then. So that's why all my videos in this series are mainly focusing on Daniel or the police tactics. If you want me to continue in
well, that's where everything's going to come to light, because they're going to give him an inch and he's going to take a mile. So, boy, it's getting warm in here. That little heater doing good, ain't it?
I wouldn't know. I'm over here looking like a marshmallow.
Yeah. A wrapped up marshmallow.
So I'm got myself a marshmallow wrapped up in 2 different blankets.
I don't know if you guys watched today's video that we uploaded. Um, we did a ride along. Part of it was running the spirit box, and part of it was just riding through the countryside. We did end up seeing a doe,
Yeah.
and I said on there, if you'll zoom in kindly, behind them two small round trees, you can see it, and then it ran off, and you can also see it while it's running. Um, there's a waterfall back there that is frozen, uh, but using that small camera, I can't zoom in. Um, you seen it? That's good. Uh, hey, babe, my guest. Uh, we enjoyed it. You know, if it's just nothing but just a few minutes out of the house, boy, that wind has been something else. And I don't think it ever hit 22 today. Uh, It's going to be either 15 or 16 by morning, so I don't know about all that. Maybe colder than that. I don't know. Let me check here. That was for Annie. Has anybody heard any more on Thomas Medlin? Johnny, Pamela, Don. I hadn't either. 6 inches or more. Oh my goodness. Alice's is done. Paula's is done. Kathy's is done. Summer and Harmony. I mean Harmony. Sebastian. Uh, Carol Patterson. So who do we like left? I know Lynn wanted to pass up hers. I think she wanted to pass hers up. Let's see. Judy, you could do one. Chris hadn't done yours yet. Hadn't done Beck's yet. So Donna. Um, Donna and Beck. Oh, let's see. Okay. We may have done some opinions. I don't remember. Be my guest. We'd need your real name for that. I'm all right. Be uh, you love 35 Celsius, uh, 35 degrees. Ours was 22. Supposed to be, but I don't think it ever got to. So let's see. Wait a minute. Beck, be my guest. Judy. Um, uh, yeah. Um, I've been calling out to a loved one uh, for the ones that's here loyally, and for you, we would definitely need your full name. You might want to grab a pen and paper, and then that way you'll know what you always need if you get a session and all that stuff. And just tell me when you're ready. No, hadn't done yours yet, love. Yours is on the chart too. Just let me know when you get your pen and paper. You ready? All right. Full name, yours. Um, Full name of the loved one. Uh, Birth date. Death date. Cause of death, if you know it. Last place lived. Some likes, whatever they enjoyed that you know of, and a few questions. Um, yeah, uh, yeah. Let's see, yours, Bex, Judy, and be my guest. I think that will be everybody that's here. You know, right on. All the time. Um, so Judy, be my guest. Beck, Alicia, um, put down on paper all the things that I just said: full name, birth date, death date, how they're related to you, cause of death, if you know it, um, last place lived, uh, some other likes, and a few questions. Uh, and we'll try to at least knock out 2 of these tomorrow. Uh, and then we'll go from there. That's all you got to have. No, you can wait till tomorrow. I just go ahead and jot it down on paper, and that way you have it. Like I said, we'll get 2 of them knocked out tomorrow, and then the next day we'll knock out 2 more, and then that should have everybody. The ones that's coming in and staying a day or 2 and then cutting out, they're not getting a session. Um, and if they're not subscribed, I will not even call out to a loved one for them. I talked about this the other day. I think you wasn't here, Judy, when I was talking about it, but I said if you're not here subscribed, at least, that's not much to ask for. You're not going to get a session, and even if we got the hey Patricia, uh, even though names are coming out while we're doing listening to the spirit box, even if they call their name off, I will not respond to it until they are subscribed. And again, I don't think that's much to ask for anybody. It's free, but you have to be subscribed. And again, you will not get a session Oh, you was? Okay. So again, I'm just giving a heads up to them right now, and I'm not talking to you guys. New ones that pop in, that sit in the back and watch. The only way you would get it is come down here and be part of JSV family. And you're going to have to be here more than just a day or two to get anything done. We're going to have to make sure that you're into what we're doing, you enjoy what we're doing, and you want to be part of it. Myself, I can't think of a better gift anybody could give me. So if you want to hear from a loved one, or participate in our drawings, our, whatever, our challenges, whatever we do, you got to be subscribed. And trust me, we'll make sure that you're subscribed for a good bit before we just turn loose on you. You can if you want to. Or hit me up on Messenger with it, either one, however you want to do it. Messenger or email, however you want to do it. But that starts tomorrow. We getting warm up in here.
Got it.
Who was riding around with us today? It's not going to work if you're talking over each other. Who was riding with us today? If you guys continue to override each other, I'm just going to start doing it the old-fashioned way. I make out 3 or 4 of you at one time, but it would be nice to know who was riding around with us today. Did you say Kathy? Who was the male? Who was the male? Who was the guy? I don't mind it, but I just want to know who you are. The ones that rode around with me and Christina today. I'm going to ask the question and you answer it here, okay? Kathy admits riding along with us. What about Anthony? Anthony, did you ride around with us? Huh? I don't care. I just want to know. A guy just said I did. What's your name? You don't sound like Anthony. Please what? Summer. Another person. Well, I asked if it was someone from the house, and the woman said, or the female said yes. Then I heard a whistle. I heard a whistle, and I said, "What was that noise?" And a response said, "Whistle." Yeah. I'm going to ask this question again. Who was riding around with me and Christina today? You and Shonda. I heard a male as well. So Christy and Shonda.
No.
That's cool and all, but who was the guy? No, I won't be pissed. I just want to know. Me and Christina. Yes. Who was the male voice that kept speaking? Give me a name. Pamela didn't ride around with us today. Who was inside the vehicle with us today? Christina, yes. And I just heard Kathy say, and Auntie. Is that what she calls you, Auntie? and I heard my cousin Christy and Shonda. Which that's cool to me. I don't care. Who is the male speaking while we were riding around? Was it you, Anthony? Remember what? You trying to say you don't remember? Whoever was riding with us today, what did we see? Yeah. No, I don't know. I enjoyed that. What about that frozen little waterfall down there? No, I don't know you. Friend of Katie's. Chris Jones.
You?
I don't know you. You must have followed from a cemetery somewhere. Yeah, it didn't take but a second to tell what we're saying, did it?
The best. Hurry it up.
I don't ever give up. If I don't get it the first day, I'll try it again the next day till I do get it. I don't know no Chris Jones, period. Do any of y'all know a Chris Jones? I don't. Yeah, like I said, you can send me all the info if you on email if you want to. If it's easier for you to just send all the info on Messenger, that's fine too. Like I said, we'll knock at least 2 of these out tomorrow. You going what 11?
Yeah.
Yes, you can do yours anytime you want to. And don't forget, we're going to start back getting some merch in. And anything you want, you let me know. Let's see. And I know what we did forget. We forgot to send out them cards. So if any of you are shy of cards right now, let me know. And Monday we can get them in the mail. Yeah, just hit me up, Lynn, with everything, full name, and who they are to you, and you know how it goes. But anything that you see that you want, whatever, you just say it. That's the way it's going to be. Uh, 11 tomorrow, which, well, we are Central Time. Um, uh, like right now, it's 7:06 here in the evening. So January 31st. Um, she go. I drop her off at 11. Now sometimes she wants me to drop her off a little bit early, so she has time to use the bathroom, play on her phone a little bit.
I will have to connect to the Wi-Fi in order to call you or text you when I'm on my break.
Yeah. So sometimes, well, if we ain't iced up, I can probably be back at the house by 11 or so. Anyway, um, or right around the attic. Uh, and if I am, uh, I'll probably put on some coffee and you're an hour ahead. Okay. Well, all right. Right now it's 7:07. So however you want to figure it for your time zone. Um, Now I probably said this wrong, and I want you I want to clarify real quick here. Tomorrow I will be going live twice. When I get back and dropping her off. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, when I drop her off, I'll probably come and make me a pot of coffee and go live. And it'll probably be coffee with JD or whatever. We will knock two out then. And then when she gets off and she's supper and everything, then we come back on, then we'll do two more. That way I've got all four of you took care of in the same day. Uh, just don't leave out anything. Put you guys' real name down, full name, birthday, whoever you want. Write down how they are, kin to you, or what relation. Uh, Last place lived, birth date, death date, cause of death if you know it, and a few questions. uh, yeah. Let's see. There's that little thing. The one where we're at. Well, probably over in one of them drawers. But anyway, uh, yeah, let's just get everybody knocked out tomorrow. Um, and then we'll still have time to cut up and carry on and just turn the box on and see somebody's name gets called or whatever. And I can tell you now, and people that's been here a minute will tell you the same thing. Tomorrow, when you wake up, think of the person, the loved one that you want me to reach out to, and think of me at the same time. It helps push energy, and it's a lot easier than having to go at it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And if you watch me do some of these others, you'll see that I'll stick with one thing just like something that Annie did that, something only her and the guy knew. It kind of caught him off guard. So, those are some good questions. A couple of them, or 3, 4, whatever. And last place lived for definite. And their likes is like a trigger object. Um, it'd be the same thing like for me. Uh, this is just an example. You put me in my coffin without my daggum cap, and we're gonna have problems. Now it don't have to be on my head, but it best be in my daggum coffin.
What your hat?
Yeah. A lot of people have sentimental things that they loved and cherished.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can think of anything like that whoever your loved one is or whatever, that's even more better.
I can think of one thing I don't want on my body when I'm dead.
No, you wouldn't have to worry with that.
No, I don't want it on my body when I'm dead.
You wouldn't have to worry with that either.
The would want my necklace is on my neck.
Oh yeah.
Special mama's necklace.
Yeah, me too.
That would have to be buried with me.
He had his hat on too. I don't think I want mine on, but I want it right there in hand's reach of me. I know it sounds weird. But in the spirit realm, I have seen people. Hey, would you do me a favor?
What?
Make me a drink.
Yeah.
Well, quit standing up so fast. Let's see where I was at here. Yeah, I'd want my hat in my coffin, at least in hand's reach. I have snapped photos when I was doing in-home sessions before, and I snapped one in the kitchen. And when we got done and everything, and I showed Susie what we've seen, there's the only image in the whole house that we caught, but it was her standing at the sink in the same gown she was on the day we were there, and she looked at it and she started crying, and she said, "That's John." She said, "I could be sitting here or standing here washing dishes. He come in from work. He'd stand right here beside of me and tell me about his day. And he'd be standing there smoking his cigarette." I caught an image of him with the cigarette. So I need me a shirt with a pocket on, put me a good pack in there and a decent lighter. That'll work. Dang it. Just because I go out don't mean I can't go out, but well prepared. Got mom in bed. Yeah, y'all just let me know. And some of you new ones, I know you may have. I don't know if you heard me talking about when I had my phone ring at a graveyard. Hey, Annie. It started ringing, and before I could get to it, it cut off. But I would have definitely answered it. Well, I did, but it's uncut. see here. I don't know. Hang on a second. Let me see if this is one of them here.
We have previously explained. When the phone fixed to the far wall of the kitchen began to ring.
No, that wasn't it. Hang on.
On the first part of
This phone call that I want to let you hear here is from a woman, and she used to work with this fella. And they were working on some kind of program. I don't know what it was. And her answering machine called it. And she just let it, record. But she could still say, hey, or, whatnot. And he was thanking them for getting it done, even after his death. And two other people got pretty much the same phone call from him the same day. And remind you, this guy has been dead for, I don't know if she said 10 or 20 years. I don't know. But good deal. Did you let her listen to the session? Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna let you listen to this so you kind of can grasp kind of what it would be like if you started having that kind of phenomenon going on. Apparently you don't ever, but if you was to, just go along with it unless it's saying something negative. Because sometimes they do talk back in a good light to you, and you never want to show disrespect to one that is trying to show you respect. You can make a rapport with them even in death like you did in life. So don't always just think inside the box. Just open your mind up to about everything.
this tape, you will have the opportunity to compare the telephone voice of Constantine Radaday early. On the first part of this tape, you will have the opportunity to compare the telephone voice of Constantine Radaday, early Latvian Tate voice experimenter who died in 1974. These calls were made to 3 EVP experimenters in the United States. The first segment, lasting 40 seconds, came through my telephone at approximately 10:45 a.m.
Please listen carefully. Please.
On January 27, 1994. My telephone rang normally. I was sitting at the desk in my office working.
So he passed in 74 and made a phone call in 94. Just please.
When I
listen.
picked up the receiver, a clear male voice said, "This is Constantine Radade." I quickly pushed the record button of my Sano tape recorder that is connected to my telephone and asked, "How are you, Dr. Radade?" This explains his first remark as my tape recorder began recording. "I'm as fine as a dead one can be." It is important to note he heard my question and responded to it in an appropriate way, perhaps showing a dry sense of humor. After that, he went on to complete his message, calling me by name and again saying his name at the end. You will then hear me say, "Thank you so much." You will notice there is no dial sound as he ends his contact, which you normally hear under usual phone call conditions. Others who have received phone calls from the other side have also remarked on the absence of dial tones. The second segment on the tape is a phone call George Meek, developer of the Spiricom system, and now living in North Carolina, received on the same morning as mine came through. The third segment is a phone call Mark Macy of Colorado received on February the 11th, 1994, through his answering machine. Mark had received the phone call several days before George and I did, as well as Walter Uphoff of Wisconsin. Unfortunately, Mark and Walter did not have a tape recorder connected to their telephone, as George and I did, so could not record Radade's voice. In his second call, however, to Mark, as already mentioned, Mark found a message on the answering machine after he had been away from home a short time. Mark called George after listening to the message, and George confirmed Radade had called him earlier that day.
I'm as fine as a dead one can be. Dear Sarah, thank you very much for everything you did for the propagation of the voices. We tried and we succeeded in building this bridge to the States. You are one of the first who are contacted by this meaning. Thank you very much for all the work you did. We are very proud and honored that we could contact you. I must interrupt now. This was the first contact. This was Constantine Radade speaking.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, this is George Meek. This is Constantine Radade. George, my friend, at last we succeeded in contacting you. Jeanette is beside me, and she wants to give you all her love. This is Constantine Radade. This is the first contact you get from us. I suppose that you can hear me. I can hear you very well, very plainly. Fine, so this is the beginning of a new story, a new chapter, George.
Yeah. What he's saying here was kindly for EVP's voice phenomenon, and they tried to prove that. Okay, good night, love. Thank you for being here. To be able to prove that you can hear from the deceased, and he said, "This is one of the 3 calls that I made." And, he's thanking them for actually being able to pick it up and get it recorded. You can tell some little gaps in his words. But the thing about it is he's not having to breathe. It's just that raspiness that he had. There's no gasp, no nothing like that. And this is one of the first pieces that really stunned people in the paranormal field.
You are a very good friend of ours, even if we haven't met. We will continue this. This is the first bridge we succeeded to build to the States. Mark was contacted, and I must interrupt now. Thank you, dear friend.
See there again too. You never heard no dial tone, no hanging up, no nothing. You know, stuff like this has been put out to the public, to the world, to try to understand. Yeah. It's not easy for one to speak. Like I've said a million times, sometimes a whisper can be one screaming just to try to get a word out. And if you don't acknowledge what they're saying, then sometimes that's when you'll have something go on, like a light bust, or, you know, something move in your home, or just something weird, you know, or have a weird feeling over you sometimes. They have to have a certain amount of energy to get a word out edgewise. The reason Summer works so well is because she's being reached all around the world all the time. She's learned how to jump from one to one, use our energy, and she's just a little fireball. It would be great to get you guys as loved ones to do the same thing. Now, we have a fam that she don't get to come on all the time because of her children. Her name is Priscilla. She was married to John, and he ended up having a heart attack, and they found him half in the pool and half out. And I can call out to him, and he will respond within about a minute's worth of session. And he has called off all three of the children's names, and I always make sure that I get him to say Priscilla. And that's because, you know, we've done it so much. And if you did you find one?
Hmm?
Did you find one?
Found what?
One of them shoes.
Oh, that's not what I was looking for.
Oh, I was trying to say there was.
I was trying to look for a name.
A what?
A name on that.
On what?
On that thing.
On what thing?
That shoebox thingy.
Chewbacca.
That
That acid
Yeah.
shoes?
I was just trying to see if there was any type names on it.
Anti-acid soft shoes.
Oh, I need this paper.
Or out. So yeah, I mean, things like that are not as far fetched as you would think. Having a past loved one to call your phone or hit you up in a dream, or several different ways they can contact you. I don't remember what year it was, but they were a bad train wreck up in Michigan. They ended up making a movie off of it, and this woman was getting interviewed because her husband was on the train working. He worked on the train, and she said that she got a call from him about 11:30 that day in the morning. And she said that he said that, you know, he loves us and everything, and he'll see us, you know, later. And while they were having that interview, I guess she called into the station and said, "Hey, my old man's in that train. How is he?" Well, come find out, he passed about 9:45 that morning. So he called her phone to let her and his baby girl know that he still loves them. It's you take your love with you, man, when you go. That's that's cool. That's cool. Um, but again, a lot of different ways for uh, paranormal activity to get your attention. Way they can just contact you. Um, it's just amazing, man. I mean, I would have to say, working in the paranormal field, to me, it's not a job. Yeah, it's a way of living, but I enjoy it. But the reason I changed from, and I'm telling this for you new ones, the reason I jumped from JD's Paranormal to John Southern Vlogs is to where everybody can understand that my channel is not just only based on the paranormal, which a lot of times that's the main portion of it. Um, but if you look down in the description, it will say in paranormal adventures. Uh, I like to do all sorts of it, and coming up pretty soon, we're going to do another challenge. I think she's going to do another sour challenge.
Yes.
And then, as you know, Valentine's Day, you are not going to want to miss that day. I've got a pretty good bit of things to have done here. Like I said, I'm going to let her sit here and talk with her mom. It just, it's just going to be an awesome day for her all the way around. And that's the way it should be. So, men, you got your woman, pull out your billfold and your debit cards. Come around Valentine's Day. You have your meeting from 1 to 5. Well, that'd be okay too, because like I said, we're gonna come back on when she gets home, and it'll be around probably uh, tomorrow night.
7.
She gets off at 7, so
It's 11 to 7. So.
yeah. So
like that for us.
Yeah. So we'll probably be on again by 8:30, something like that. We're just gonna go ahead and just knock out 2 of them when I get back from dropping her off in the morning, and then the other 2 tomorrow evening. So you won't get your chance messed up. We can, if you want to, we can do yours. If I get, on Valentine's Day. Oh, okay. Well, you'll definitely want to rewatch. Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. I got to go find me something there to eat on. I'm hungry. I love each and every one of you. Keep it on your devices, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Good night. Love every one of you.
Sweet dreams.